I'm going to tell you what to expect from TripHacks DC for the remainder of 2020. Hello, my name is Rob. I'm a tour guide and the founder of TripHacks DC Tours. On this channel, I share my best tips, tricks, and hacks for exploring Washington, DC. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification icon so that you don't miss anything in the future. For the past 3 years, I've worked hard to post a new video on this YouTube channel nearly every week, a new podcast episode on the first of every month, and to offer guided tours throughout the year. When COVID-19 hit in March, we had to suspend the tours, but I tried to keep up with these videos and the podcast episodes and hoped that tours would return soon enough. But unfortunately, now that we're into summer, tour business is still extremely slow. Basically non-existent, if I'm being completely honest. So I've had to reevaluate everything. First, let's start with TripHacks DC Tours. We brought back tours this month as part of Stage 1 of Washington, D.C.'s reopening. If you want to know more about those stages of reopening, I'll leave a link down in the description to a video I made on this exact topic. Right now, there are a small number of tours on the calendar on a limited number of dates. For the simple reason that, during this reopening, I have no idea what the demand is going to look like for tours, which makes it incredibly hard to schedule them based on what I know from past years. So if demand stays weak and people aren't signing up, then there just won't be as many tours offered. On the other hand, if a lot of locals decide to take a staycation and sign up for our tours, which I really hope they do, then that could change the equation entirely. So the best way to keep up with TripHacks DC Tours is simply to keep an eye on the website triphacksdc.com to see what we have available. Next, let's talk about the TripHacks DC podcast. If you haven't listened to it before, then I highly recommend that you go ahead and subscribe in your favorite podcast app. Or you can listen right on the website over at triphacksdc.com/podcast. One of the reasons why I started the podcast was so that I could invite guests to talk about things that I am not personally an expert on. The episodes that I did on restaurants and the weather are perfect examples of this. However, having guests also adds the logistical challenge of having to find guests, schedule them, and record our episodes. And with podcasts, the episodes are usually recorded well in advance in order to give me plenty of time to edit them. And in 2020, this is just not working anymore because things are changing so fast that by the time I get around to recording and editing an episode, it's already kind of out of date. So I'm going to publish one final podcast episode on July 1st, and then I'm going to put the podcast into hibernation for a while. I do hope that you'll subscribe and listen, because that July 1st episode is going to be a candid discussion of what it's been like to be in the travel industry this year. And if you're subscribed, then once the podcast comes back, you'll be the first to find a new episode. So finally, that leaves this YouTube channel. For reasons that I'll discuss more in depth in that July 1st podcast, I'm not ending the YouTube channel. But I am reducing the number of videos, probably to every other week until further notice. The reason is because right now we're in limbo when it comes to travel. When COVID-19 hit in March, people wanted to know, when are things going to go back to the way they used to be? And for a while, the answer looked like 3 weeks, and then 3 months. And now, who knows? So my perspective on this has changed. I don't think things will ever go back to the way that they used to be. I do think that they will go forward to creating a new normal. And honestly, I don't know what that new normal looks like right now. So it just doesn't make that much sense for me to make travel tips videos based on the way that things used to be. And it doesn't really make sense for me to speculate about what I think things will be like in the future either. At some point, things will become more clear. And when it does, then I can start making those new videos. We just aren't there yet. And hey, if you stuck around with me this long, then I highly recommend another TripHacks DC video. So go ahead and click or tap right over here to watch the next one. And if you do want to sign up for one of those TripHacks DC tours, you can click or tap on the Capitol Dome on the left side of my head. That'll send you right over to triphacksdc.com where you can see all of the tours that we offer. Enjoy your trip!